Hey DOOLigans, I'm back. Now check this out.
He used to watch his favorite show, then got a job on a TV show, talking about that favorite show, but then he had to go. But then he got his own show, talking about that favorite show. It's called Dishin with DOOLigan. Dishin with DOOLigan.
Hey DOOLigans, Mr. DOOLigan here. Welcome to another episode of Dishin with DOOLigan. So, what did you think about the new intro? I want to give a shout out to a very special guy, William Gray, who actually wrote and sang the song, the introduction song. So, I want to give him a shout out and give him credit for that. It was an amazing song. We worked on it and it came out awesome. And I actually did the animation with the little Legos. So I hope you guys saw little pieces from pictures that I posted on Twitter a month back. I'm back now. I was gone for a whole week. I don't know if you guys knew that. I mean, I did tweet that I was off in and out of the hospital, but I'm back now. I'm healthy. Doctor gave me the okay, so I can resume my show. So let's get started with today's episode. So today's episode was, I don't want to say it was a throwaway episode, but this episode was way too long for one story. This episode focused all on Aiden and his whole backstory of why he's coming back. Now, why they chose to do a whole hour on this, I don't know. It could have been done, I don't know, in about 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, but they decided to just drag it on. So this episode was cut into several parts or chapters. Um, so the first part opens up with what we were left with last week, which was Rafe bringing Hope home from their date. Now the writers decided to call this the Goodnight Kiss Part 1. Now it's about just Rafe dropping Hope off, giving her a goodnight kiss, and she walks in the door. The next part is The Intruder Part 1, which is now. The Goodnight Kiss was 2 hours ago. And so in walks Hope, she's putting away her stuff, and then Aiden comes down, and Hope discovers him and freaks out. End of that part. So the next part, I know, it's so weird. The next part is called The Wedding Night. And this was taken back 6 months ago. So, we go back to when Aiden was with Hope and they just finished making love. And he gets up and goes downstairs. And we get to see him again, getting into the necktie killer disguise, because we know that whole storyline to protect Chad, blah, blah, blah. He was going to promise to kill Hope in order for the Demirs. Now, we see a scene where he couldn't go through with it, and he hears something at the front door, goes and opens it up, and he sees a twin, or it's someone who looks identical to him. So he was like, what the hell? And he backs up, and as he's backing up, because he's so freaked out about this, Andre comes up behind him, sticks the needle in his neck, and he passes out. And basically, Andre's saying, me and my father knew you weren't going to be able to go through with this, so we decided to have a plan B, which is hire, someone, a doppelganger. So now we know that it was the doppelganger who strangled Hope and who Bo killed. So, so now we move to the part where it's called The Cell Part 1, which is 6 months ago. So now this is where it drags on. First of all, NBC decided to save a lot of money on this episode because it's all filmed in one set, and it looks like a backlot of a B movie. I mean, it's very, very low budget. Like, I could have done this in my living room. Um, it was just a basically white room with a chain link fence, a cot, a dead bird, food, and a ventilation shaft. So, anyways, so basically, he's trapped in this cell. The cell, I mean, it's not even a cell; it's a chain link fence. And he wakes up, and he notices he's trapped here. He sees some food on the floor. There's a vent that's all of a sudden starts fuming, throwing gas. Then he passes out and he wakes up. He's not going to eat the food because he's like he feels that probably the food has something in it. And all of a sudden, there's this TV that pops up outside of the cell, and it's the wedding video of him and Hope getting married. And of course, he's like, he starts crying, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, it cuts to the video of him killing Hope, and he starts freaking out because now he thinks Hope is dead. And okay, so that's the end of part one. So then we move on to the cell part two, which is what did I say, 2 months, which is 100. He claims it's 115 days, so it's 2 months from now. And so Aiden's all has the beard, his hair is all shaggy. He's writing in notebooks and he's talking to this dead bird that he's discovered in his cell, who's all of a sudden his buddy. And he just starts rambling and talking about how he's writing down in these books, taking notes when the vent starts putting out the gas, and what he's eaten and how many days he's been there, and blah blah blah. And so he's kind of a little going crazy, stir crazy, because he's been in there by himself with no communication. And so all of a sudden, this video pops up again on the TV, um, where it shows Chase. It's a news report about Chase raping Ciara. So Aiden is like yelling, "No, no, no, that's not true. That's not true." And then he starts feeling guilty because he feels that Chase thinks that he killed, Hope, and so Chase is like went crazy himself. That's why he, raped Ciara. So that's the end of the cell part two. Next, we go to the escape, which is 3 weeks from now. And what happens in this one is he's been practicing holding his breath for this ventilation shaft, so he won't pass out. So he kind of like masters this skill because he's holding his breath more and more. And when the fumes come out, he holds his breath, he pretends he's knocked out. The guard that brings him his food while he's knocked out comes, opens the cell, the chain link fence, walks in, puts down the food, turns around to walk out, and obviously Aiden is not asleep. So he wakes up and he tackles the guy, which was hilarious. This fight scene was, I mean, 2 5-year-olds could have choreographed a better fight scene. It was just, I was laughing so hard at this. It was ridiculous. Anyway, so he subdues the guy, the guard, and knocks him down, and he escapes. Oh, and he takes the dead bird with him, his little buddy. So that's the end of that part. Next part is called, what was it called? It was called The Road Home, and it was like 1 week from now. So now we see Aiden in this bathroom, and he's cleaning himself up. He's shaved, he's cut his hair. Now it looks all perfectly coiffed. Who knew Aiden had a skill in cutting hair? And he's, basically talking to himself, and he leaves the dead bird and saying, "Hi, I'm gonna fly solo now," and he hitchhikes back to Salem. And there was a sign there saying something in Oklahoma, so I guess he was in Oklahoma somewhere. But he hitchhikes back to Salem, and that's the end of that chapter. And then the next chapter is called The Goodnight Kiss Part 2, which is we're going back to the beginning of the episode, or back to last week, which was 2 hours ago. And so it's called The Goodnight Kiss Part 2. And we see Aiden breaking into Hope's house with the key that she hides under her planter. He goes in, starts looking around the house, and then he goes upstairs, and then Hope kisses Rafe goodnight. And so we see it the point of view through Aiden's, because he's upstairs looking downstairs at Hope, giving Rafe a kiss goodnight. Sees her, walks in, and then we cut that. So that's the end of that chapter. So now we move on to the last chapter of that episode, and that was called The Intruder Part 2, which is the now part. And so so Hope's, putting away her stuff, And then Aiden comes down the stairs and he surprises Hope, and Hope freaks out. She drops her mug, and he's like, "No, no, no! I need to explain." She's like, "You're dead. You're supposed to be dead. Bo killed you. What are you doing here? This and that." So she doesn't know what the heck is going on. And Aiden's just, trying to tell her, "If you love me, if you know I love you, please listen to me." He's trying to explain, and she gets on her phone and she's gonna dial 911 to call the police. Now, he tries to plead with her not to call 911 because he wants to explain to her what has happened. Um, and this is the funny part. She pretends like she's gonna put the phone down, and all of a sudden she like bum rushes Aiden and tackles him to the ground, starts kicking him in the stomach, and basically subdues him, and pulls out her gun, and of course Hope with her famous pulling out the gun. Um, and then she finally handcuffs him, and he's still trying to explain, and she's calls 911 and tells him to come over, and then finally the cops come, arrest him, and take him away, and Hope is just crying. So that's the whole episode. Look, I did it in less than 10 minutes. I mean, I didn't test my, and they took a whole freaking hour to do this thing. So that was that. I mean, I guess it's a pretty quick episode for me to come back on. Um, I really don't know. I mean, my thoughts on this episode was so all over the place. It was all WTF all over the place. It's like WTF he's talking to a dead bird. WTF on the set, how low budget it was. WTF that they took a whole freaking hour just to explain what happened to Chase. I mean, Aiden. So it was just WTF all around. So that was it. I mean, I really don't have that much more to say, and I'm probably you guys don't have that much to say about it either. I guess unless you want to agree with me or disagree, or let me know any other WTFs. So if you want, you can leave the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Like I said, my show's a work in progress, as you saw the new intro. Again, shout out to William Gray for that. And leave some comments. I didn't do any tweets today, because it's so late. Right now it's like 7:24 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm usually gonna try to do my shows beforehand. I'm gonna try to put my shows out because I have a new work schedule also, so that's gonna kind of interfere with my taping. So I'm gonna be trying to put out or record these videos around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if anybody is around or looking out for my tweets, that's when I'm going to send out the tweet. If you want to send me any questions or comments about the show, I can read them on the air. So we're going to try that tomorrow. And one more thing, everybody knows that this month is May, and everybody knows that NBC puts on this whole thing called Red Nose Day. So if nobody knows what Red Nose Day is, it's all about having fun and raising money and changing lives. This money is the money that's raised through Red Nose Day will help transform the lives of children living in poverty, and in the U.S. and internationally. So I purchased this Red Nose. They're only for $1 at Walgreens. I don't know if they sell them anywhere else. I've only seen them at Walgreens. But if you want to know more information about Red Nose Day, it's on Thursday, May 26th. 8 Central. There's going to have this whole event on NBC. So you can go to rednosedayusa.com. That's rednosedayusa.com. Now purchase your Red Nose. If you wanted to take a snapshot with you and your Red Nose and hashtag Red Nose Day, hashtag Dishin with DOOLigan, that'd be awesome. I would totally appreciate that. So you guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend. And, oh, wow. This thing's hurting me. There we go. So hope you guys had a great weekend. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Again, I should be sending out my tweets at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, so keep an eye out for that, okay? So you guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow. You have a good night or good morning or good afternoon, whenever you're seeing this. And I will see you tomorrow, okay? Peace, love, and days. Bye.